bans already, with Truman State once again over on the blue side.
Oh, no, Truman State's over on the red side.
Really?
They switched.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're right. Oh, my graphics say they're on the... Okay, see, my graphics say they're on the blue side. That's because I'm an amateur and did not change them.
It's okay. It's okay. As we get that squared away, we gotta. I love you, Fecus. It's okay. We can start looking at the pick and bans and see how things are changing. But for Principia, it's not really changing too much. They're kind of keeping it right in line with what they did before with the Malzahar, Evelyn, and Kled ban, and even for Truman, exact same bans: Tom Kench, Vladimir, and Lulu.
Yeah, different order, but same bands for sure. Not going to be picking any sort of bands away from, or target banning any of the champions from last game. And we see Doter once again going on Tristana. Perhaps Principia thinks that maybe their team comp wasn't the issue, it was their play, and maybe they can just do that once again, but play it a little bit better this time around against Truman State. We're going to see what they pick up. Actually, I kind of want to cast the same teams as last game, because so far it's almost working out that way.
I almost wonder if Truman are going to do that. They did pretty much show one of their cheese compositions. Maybe they don't want to let too many of their strats loose too early, as they do go for the exact same bot lane as before with the Braum and Varus.
Yeah, and that would be the Tarek over onto the side of Principia if they want to repeat last game. We're going to see what Bionic Bubble picks up this time. Picked up the Sejuani last game, and there is the Tarek hovered over. We're going to see if they lock it in, or it could be something else. This is one of the fun things about Teemo Cup. I talked about it last game. As I speak very quickly there, that's due to excitement, because we get to see fun picks, but I was hoping to see the Amumu. That's okay. Sejuani, still a very good pick. Bionic Bubble, going to go back onto that one.
Yeah, I think showing the Amumu this early into the draft, especially if we see TB Rosen going for the Kayn again, would be a little bit sketchy for Bionic Bubble. Amumu has kind of a difficult time in the jungle, while Sejuani, she can take the Fleet of Footwork, she can go for the Aftershock, she has a couple more avenues to go for as the jungler where she doesn't feel as threatened. But Flavius, back on the Aurelion Soul.
So same comps exactly as last game thus far, so almost expect to see a Kayn being brought out for a Rose, unless Principia are going to shake it up and ban that one out, which I actually would not mind because of the massive roam potential that Aurelion Soul and a Kayn displays. Cassiopeia being banned away, not a ban from last game, but this time it is going to be, and that's some of the, again, they just don't want, I think there's going toward Aurelion Soul specifically, not really banning out Aristotle. They have faith in him to play whatever they need to, but also Cassiopeia can just get in the face of you. Just a similar, very similar to Rise, but almost more so, considering if you do land that Q, you can repeat your speed ups and get into the face of Aurelion Soul, which is something he doesn't want. We talked about it last game, taking away Cassiopeia for that one. And a little bit of more focus on the top side. I think those are the exact same bans from Principia last game.
This is Aurelia and Shen, so they don't want to let Dekif King have something that can be a little bit more impactful across the lanes. But this time around, this is where the changes are going to come in. It's going to be Dekif King onto Sion and not My Pet Cactus.
Yeah, My Pet Cactus maybe going onto the Maokai if they want to do a whole switcheroo here, as we did see Dekif King on the Maokai last game. But this time, they're not going to give Dekif King that, I'm sorry, My Pet Cactus that option to run in and engage. But they do pick up the Gangplank, which is a big power spike on that top side. Gangplank, extremely versatile.
I do like that it's something that can scale a little bit better, try to have a little bit more damage, but has to be careful because Sion does so much damage in the earlier stages of the game where if he's not careful, Gangplank can actually get solo killed. And this is where we see Kayn coming back in for Rosen. He's comfortable with that, so really excited to see him play it again.
Yeah, if it's not broken, don't fix it, and that's what they're going to go with for the most part on the side of Truman State, as we do see the difference on the top side with Dekif King going with the Sion instead of the Maokai, but that's the only difference for Truman State. Now, on the side of Principia, I do like the Talia pickup, and I do like the Gangplank pickup. Those are both very powerful champions that scale very well into the mid game and can hit a massive power spike that they may have missed in the last game's team fights, that they think they may be able to maybe turn it back around this time around. And of course, Gangplank does have the Cannon Barrage to assist on the bot side, maybe keep up in his own pseudo form with the roams of Aurelion Soul whenever he decides to roam from mid lane to top lane to bot lane, wherever he wants to go as he flies over the mountains. Cannon Barrage may be able to, Cannon Barrage is going to be able to A, keep up with that roam, but also B, if he wants to, can throw it on Aurelion Soul as he's roaming and completely cut that off, because damage does interrupt his flyby.
Exactly. Plus, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Flavius to actually shove out a Talia, who's excellent at clearing out these waves. So normally what you do as the Aurelion Soul is you try to shove out the wave, make it so that you can roam, go help out Rosen wherever he goes. But Aristotle, this time around, it's going to be a lot easier. The Rise, it has that idea in mind, but it's later into the game when he can clear out the waves efficiently. Talia, once she gets a couple abilities, wave's gone.
Yeah, it's very easy for Talia to clear out a wave, especially the back line with your Q. If you're not on worked ground, you can just throw out the 3 rocks, or however many, it's actually more than 3. But throw out your Q either way and get the maximum amount of damage from those rocks onto the back line, so you can actually clear it very quickly that way. And yeah, Talia, I do like that better than the Rise in regards to just overall mobility, because again, let's talk about Talia. Talia with Weaver's Wall can actually roam just as well as Aurelion Soul, and then the main difference is you have to be level 6 with Talia to do that. But Aurelion Soul can't cut people off. That is something that Talia can do, and it actually does interact with Aurelion Soul's with his. I believe the interaction mechanic with Weaver's Wall and the flyby of Aurelion Soul is if you do run the Weaver's Wall into him, it actually knocks him out of the sky, because it disrupts him, and it acts as a displacement, which is something that knocks him out. Now, he can move by himself, but when someone else displaces you, it does knock you out.
Plus, he could also use that wall to cut off Scion, so he can't join the fight quite as easy. If he's trying to go for his ult, you just knock him, stop him in his place. But like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Go away, sir. We don't want to have you today.
Yeah, that is something that's very relevant as well. Principia, they drafted a comp as a reaction to the last game's weaknesses for them. Now, we're going to see if the Gangplank and Talia really make that big of a difference. I feel like they do. They do have a lot more global presence, and that's something they heavily lacked when compared to Truman State. That is something that we don't really see Aurelion Soul too often, and we do undervalue how global that champion can be, especially if you wanted to just go back to base and then fly to the bot side without any warning. That is a big surprise, and you have to catch them completely off guard and way overextended to do that, but it is an option that they have. Not to mention you can just do it through the jungle and cut them off to the backside as well. So there are a lot of options of Aurelion Soul that are undervalued, but we are getting to the game. Probably should give some shout outs to our sponsors, and that one being Twitch. I'll actually do the sponsor this time. You do their social medias.
Ooh, all
yeah.
right.
Twitch.tv. Thank you for being here with us on Twitch.tv. Couldn't do it without you. You've been with us for, since the very beginning, and we hope to be with you for eternity. And of course, you can follow them on Twitter at twitter.com/Twitch and facebook.com/Twitch. Give them a shout out, because without them, we wouldn't be here today, and we certainly wouldn't be able to broadcast Collegiate League of Legends, and that's what we all are here for.
Exactly. And guys, make sure that you keep up to date with what we're doing here at CSL. You can always follow us over on Twitter. It's going to be at C-Star League, or you can follow us if you want just League of Legends content at CSL LOL, so that way you can keep up to date on all of that as well. You can do the same thing at Facebook if you want. It's going to be C-Star League, so make sure to keep up to date with us on all of that as well. If you aren't able to watch all of the games, you can always watch the VODs on our YouTube channel. If it surprises you, it's gonna be C-Star League. We like to keep it pretty consistent across the platform to make it nice and easy for everyone to follow us. That way you can always make sure that you're watching these League of Legends, watching the collegiate esports, but you can also watch all different sorts of esports from. We have StarCraft 2, we got Dota 2, we have, I believe,
we have Smash Brothers now.
We have Smash Brothers now. We got Counter-Strike Go. So you got plenty of things that you could always watch.
Yeah, we have actually quite a few games, and yeah, Smash is one of those that is actually, I want to say we're the only collegiate side doing it right now, but that may have changed over the season. But I do know we are pretty big in our Smash, and yeah, really fun competitive games over there. So definitely go check that one out as we get into the game here. And Truman, they are looking for. Just wanted to make sure. Oh. So yeah, they had an all chat there for us. How nice. They gave us a shout out.
That was nice. That was nice of them.
Yeah.
Good guys over there.
I like being acknowledged and validated for my existence.
Yeah. Flavius and Aristotle find each other, but then they walk away. They're like, oh, wait, no, never mind. I don't want to play.
I mean, you're going against a galactic dragon when you're just what are you, like an earth shifter? I don't know. Like,
throw another rock.
Yeah,
that's what you got.
Yeah, throw a rock at a cosmic dragon. This matchup should not even work properly. Like, Aurelion Soul should be able just to eat entirety of Runeterra and just be done with it. He is like the Galactus of the League of Legends lore, but they don't really treat him that way. And I'm sure there's something in his lore that, like, dumb down his power to where he has to now, like, he can now be taken on by having a rock thrown at him.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these things don't make sense. The Malphite in his lore is supposed to be the size of a mountain.
Oh, yeah. And,
like,
well, technically, Talia should just be able to control him, right?
Right. There's just things that are weird and don't make sense, but, who are we to judge?
That would be a fun game mode where they actually stay true to lore. And they have to ban certain champions. Obviously, Aurelion Sol would not be able to be in that game at all because, again, he should just be able to eat everybody. But, yeah, like something like a Brand and Annie interaction, a Talia and Malphite interaction. That's a very far off game, but I don't know. That would be fun. Either way, we actually have a real game here with lore intact, and that is what we were seeing right now. So we see trading in the mid lane.
I like what Flavius is doing. Got the Corrupting Pot, trying to see if he can not only just shove out Aristotle, but get a lot of damage, because he knows that he can out-trade. He can always heal up a little bit more efficiently. He's got to be careful that he doesn't take too much damage as he is right now. Doesn't want to fall down and give over an early first blood to Aristotle after he did a great job in Game 1 in controlling him.
So the one thing that Aristotle is lacking is a big big potential for killing, because he doesn't have the Ignite. That is something that Arcadius does have. So if he can get Aristotle down a little bit lower, just throw out the Ignite. Of course, it could be countered by the heal, but it would be a summoner down in favor. A summoner down for both of them, really, because neither of them at that point would have kill potential. But right now, the trading is going to be very, very hard to deal with. Especially Aristotle, you can't really get a kill. If anything, you're just forcing him out of lane, because with no Ignite, you're more than likely not going to be able to score a first blood over onto Arcadius.
No, but the heal will at least keep him alive. For me, it feels that Aristotle's not trying to play to win lane, but play to keep it even so that he can be the first one to try to rotate and help out his team across the map, especially this Gangplank, who opted to start with the Cull first, not opting to try to keep himself a little bit more healthy, feeling that he doesn't have to worry too much about to keep King.
Yeah, that is interesting, but yeah, he's just going for straight up gold. He also has Klepto for his Keystone. And with the Cull, he's just looking to accelerate his gold pace very quickly into an early mid game as possible, an early Triforce as possible, because that's where his big power spike is. I think there's action in the mid lane, but there's also action in the top lane.
Look at this! One more hit on the Pet Cactus will finish it off in the first blood, all ready for the Keep King, and this is what we were talking about before. Scion in the lane is scary.
Yeah, the early power of Scion cannot be underestimated, and that is something that my Pet Cactus looked like he may have just done there. He does have Teleport. He's not going to miss out on any minions here, but the first blood does go over to Truman State and to Keep King, and that has a nice acceleration of pace in that top side, because again, my Pet Cactus, he's trying to accelerate his gold deposits, trying to get to that mid-game power spike as early as possible. A first blood is going to help equalize that quite well, and actually, it's going to accelerate him a lot, as we see in the mid lane.
Getting a good chunk of damage onto Aristotle, but not going to be able to follow it up, and I'm pretty sure Aristotle will be able to get a nice easy back. He already had the wave shoved up pretty far onto Flavius, so he'll go back, buy some items, be back in the lane as though nothing happened.
Yeah, now, not as aggressive of jungling so far by Bionic Bubble. I think he had ganked at least once, possibly twice by this point last game. He's just keeping it a little bit low-key this time around. Farming his jungle, gonna stay safe. Let Rosen show himself, and maybe make a reaction to that. But he did just show himself into the mid lane. He's not choosing to react too much to that, just farming up his wolves right now. Also has a Gromp to take out, and maybe waiting for a little bit more of an item, as he does have his jungler item right now. Rosen hasn't even went back yet, so that is something that he needs to be doing pretty soon, possibly after these Krugs. Unless he wants to look for a kill on the top side. My Pet Cactus maybe getting some help of his own.
Yeah, Bionic Bubble is in the area, not going to land the slam down with the axes. Rosen's right around the corner. The Shadow Walk to get him a little bit more health as he's trying to get into the battle. Doesn't get the knockup or get any damage on my Pet Cactus, but he's getting a lot of damage. The Permafrost to knock back the Scion a little bit. This Pet Cactus was taking a lot of damage, and now Flavius and Aristotle in the river fighting it out. A little bit more damage going on to this Aurelion Sol, knocking him back with the seismic shove, trying to see if they can go for more. You might be able to turn this and get one more auto. Aristotle will get the kill, the solo onto Flavius.
So that is one really huge advantage for a Talia into an Aurelion Sol, is that if you fight along walls, a Talia will be able to outpace you and get into your bubble, into your circle, because you get that extra movement speed from whenever you're next to walls. That is something that she took full advantage of, or Aristotle took full advantage of in the mid lane, and was able to avoid a lot of that damage from Arcadius, and even Arcadius held on to the Ignite knowing it wasn't going to be enough, and Flash and Heal wasn't even needed for Aristotle to keep into the circle of Arcadius. Nicely played by Aristotle.
Exactly, and this is what you want to see, these adaptations coming in, the changes, realizing that Flavius, he loves to go for these roams, wants to see if he can go into other lanes, so you choose something that's just as adequate and effective at going for that style of play, you cut him down, you cut out his power.
Yeah, and that is something they want to look to do. So Arcadius, his flash is down. We haven't seen any aggression on that from Bionic Bubble. That's something we did see. I feel like he did that properly last game. Waited for that flash to be taken by Arcadius, and then pressured him because he doesn't have any escapes outside of just flying over a wall, and that gets interrupted very easily. So you see Bionic Bubble on the bot side. He's not level 6, so he can't get a huge engage here.
Now with the flash coming in from Mucky to get himself over the walls, Highsmith has got to be careful. Permafrost landing on him. Cannon Barrage cut off the path of Truman State.
Oh,
and here's the
Weaver's
Weaver's Wall to shove him back. Mucky cannot run anywhere at all. There's a seismic shove will keep Smith into the battle. A little bit more poke as even Arcadius, he saw that battle going wrong and he decided to get out of there.
So Principia focusing on the bot side like they should have in the last game. This time correcting that, doing a great job on that gank on the bot side. Put a lot of resources into it, but may have at least gotten a double kill out of it. One kill onto on each of their carries with Todor and Aristotle. Not able to get the turret, but they may be able to get the dragon here. Rosen is in the vicinity, so is Arcadius, but it is still a 2v4 at the moment.
Yeah, 4 members for Principia. They don't have to worry too much if they want to try to take this, but they gotta be careful because Rosen could possibly steal this. Plus, he has the Umbral Trespass. Teleport coming in from the Keep King. The flash comes in from Bionic Bubble to get himself out of dodge. Doesn't want to fight this one anymore. But the fact that Principia decided to back off, they don't want to pressure onto this dragon, might have meant that they forfeit a little bit of pressure.
Smite advantage is over to Rosen. Bionic Bubble.
Yeah, the Bionic Bubble, he already used Flash and he went over the wall with the Arctic Assault, so he couldn't get that. Great 3-man knockback by Aristotle, but no way to follow that one up. So with the kill and the Ocean Drake, it's going to be Truman that are the benefactors of that fight.
And maybe it was a little bit too early to really take advantage of that bot side gank. That was a nice gank by Principia, but overstayed a little bit. Maybe, like I said, maybe too early to really take advantage of that one. And Truman came back. Mucky and Highsmith, they had died, respawned, came back, and were still around that same engagement, if you want to consider that a very long engagement over the Dragon Pit. So very nice pickup by Truman. Nice retaliation, not getting tilted and coming back, picking up their own kill and the Drake for themselves. First Drake of the game, Ocean, going over to them. Going to help quite a bit in these long, drawn-out fights, which we've been seeing quite a bit in these games.
Exactly. Hey, you know, if you have the long, drawn-out fights in the early game, it means that more teams are wanting to fight. They're more likely to go into the face of the other, wanting to really get the pressure early into the game and trying to see if they can gain control and get the snowball. That's pretty much what 8.4 has become, is more about snowballing instead of waiting out until you have the late game composition.
Yeah, and that's it's when the Baron pops up, that's when 8.4 really shines, because I love the pressure around Baron already, and now it's even more so. Just huge. I don't know if we're going to be seeing a banner command out of this game, because, hold on, we have a gank on Aristotle.
Here's the Shadow Walk, a lot of damage. That was the Ignite put down by Arcadius as well, but he was taking tower shots. Doesn't want to keep that fight going. Plus, he's down a level towards Aristotle, who also had the heal. Not really much they could do, even if they wanted to go for that dive.
Aristotle still has the heal, held onto that one, so still has a little bit of a get out of escape card here, if he wants to be able to use that. Now, with that being said, Rosen and Arcadius can dish out a lot of damage very quickly, as we see Rosen actually invading into Bionic Bubble's jungle, taking his blue buff, seeing that Bionic Bubble is on the bot side, so I believe he's walking over the Rift Scuttler. So showing where he's at. Actually, the Rift Scuttler is Bionic Bubbles. I think he's just evading. He's actually blindly invading, although there is a ward on the brush for Truman on the bot side now in the river.
Possible.
Hold on.
There's a possible fight coming in. Dive in top lane as Pet Cactus goes down, but this is the bot lane. Mucky getting traded across the map with the exhaust. Probably going to be 2 kills as they flash forward. Get the Buster Shot to keep the Braum from the tower. One more auto. Double kill for Daughter. So it's a nice trade. for the side of Principia as they get 2 kills and maybe even the tower, but it's going to be a tower rush. Who's going to get first? Arcadius trying to do his best. He's trying to dodge away, but the permafrost to knock him back. The roar not going to knock anyone far enough away, but will trade Bionic Bubble at least. And this team continuing to put this siege in the top side of the map, continuing to try to get that tower, but it's so close. Couple more autos.
Oh my god, who's going to win it? I think it is going to be Truman. They are going to be able to get the tower first, and they do.
Oof.
So
just a little bit.
That was actually really big for Arcadius. Going into a 4v1 underneath his turret still, but going into a 4v1, still getting a kill, and Truman still getting the first turret. They get that bonus gold. That was a big win for Truman that they were racing for. They had to do that at that moment. And again, I do like Principia. They're putting focus on the bot side, which is what they should be doing. But man, the rotation from Truman, not putting all of their resources on the top side, leaving Arcadius to roam still from the mid side, is paying off very well for them and allowing them to get that little bit of an edge in this race for gold. The first blood, the first turret, and now the first Drake, which Drake doesn't give gold, but does have gold value regardless. And now they might be able to retaliate and pick up quite a bit of damage on this bot lane turret.
However, unlike in game 1, the key members are the ones with the kills. Doter, 4-0-1 on this Tristana. 2-0-2 for Aristotle. They're doing really well for themselves this time around, but they gotta be careful because Truman continuing to put this pressure. They got the tower bot side, and they might be able to pick up a kill on the Cactus. Luckily for him, he flashed away. Still had that up from the dive before.
Yeah, Chains of Corruption not going to be landing. Or else may have been spelling doom for My Pet Cactus. My Pet Cactus on the gangplank, not quite at that Triforce level, cannot clear waves with just one barrel combo. As I talk about that though, Rift Herald was taken, seeing that Rosen was on the bot side. Bionic Bubble and team decided to rotate to the top side, get that Rift Herald, sorry about that. And that's exactly what you need to do. When you see pressure from the jungler on one side, go to the other side if you can, if it makes sense. Pick up an objective, and that's exactly what happened. That may equate to a mid lane turret because it's 4v1 with the Rift Scuddler behind them. Rift Herald.
Rosen and Keith are nearby. They might want to turn this around here. Comes Sion, doesn't connect on anybody but for the knockup. Not going to be able to pick up the kill, so they're going to have to turn around and get themselves that Rift Herald that's continuing to wail away and getting a lot of damage to their tier 2 and mid.
Yeah, they have to answer that one. It's very easy to take down. It doesn't do an extreme amount of damage after the first ram, but it does do a decent amount. It actually got it down to a little over half health, so that is a big advantage whenever if Principia is able to get into a position to siege into that inner mid lane turret. So yeah, a little bit of misplay coming out from both sides. Principia overstaying more than likely. They actually did a great job withdrawing that time around. So if they can keep that that sort of mindset up, take an objective, take a kill, back off, don't overstay, take a win, go. They may be able to bring this into a game number 3. Turrets are even. This is 2 more turrets than Principia got in the first game, so they are putting up a fight, and it might be able to equate over into a big advantage. But right now, it's still pretty even with a slight edge over to Truman State.
However, even though the fact that these towers are even, the kills should benefit Principia, but honestly, it's not going as well as they want unless they get the pick onto Rosen, who went a little bit too far out, forced to use the Humble Trespass onto Aristotle. Here comes the Cosmic Gradient to stop a lot of that damage. Exhaust onto Flavius in the backline, but here's Mucky trying to see if they can do it a little bit, getting the flash. Dodor, he's way into that Dragon Pit. A lot of damage onto Bionic Bubble as they land a great stun, getting double kills, maybe even going for more as finally Dodor can't do too much. Pet Cactus, you're way far away from your team. And Rosen will easily slap you away, while Truman, the rest of the team, they want to get another objective, taking down a Cloudrick, the second one of the game.
Mucky came in from the backlines. Nobody turned on him. That is the big source of damage. Arcadius, yeah, they were trying to take out Arcadius as well, but there was just too much focus on the front lines when they could have easily turned around, taken out Mucky, and possibly turned that into a 4v5. Yeah, My Pet Cactus, not the wisest teleport, did teleport to the backside. But this is the big problem with Truman State, is they have 3 points of big damage. They have Rosen, they have Arcadius, and they have Mucky. Now with all that damage, you have to choose who you're going to focus and target and to kill. Mucky would have been a great choice on that one. He was separated from his team, he came in from the backside, could have been CC'd relatively easily, and just picked off. But he was able to, he was allowed, it wasn't even saying he was able to, he was just allowed to auto attack to his heart's content. got a ton of damage off, and he already has the. I don't know if he had the Guinsu's Rage Blade during that fight, but regardless, when you have Blight stacked up and you just proc them every 3 auto attacks, that's quite a bit of damage that you need to eliminate, especially if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, this is where I wish we had replays so we could look back at that. Because if we actually look at it, Dodor, he jumped over to try to see if he can finish off Rosen, who flashed himself over the wall in the Dragon Pit. And this made their AD carry, one of the main damage dealers for Principia, completely isolated from his team. He's nowhere able to help out. And like you said then, Mucky completely enabled to get a lot of free DPS on to Aristotle, onto Bionic Bubble, Tom Food. Pet Cactus, his teleport was way out of left field. He was nowhere in for that team fight.
Uh-oh.
But now Rosen, a little bit too greedy maybe, but he has a lot of damage. The Umbral Trespass, he does turn it around, but unfortunately will be slapped down by Dodor. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, but Truman getting the advantages now, looking for the vision control of Principia's jungle.
Yeah, you cannot count out the resiliency and the burst damage of a decently fed Kayn. He was 3-0-1 at that time, and he has a lot of power behind him to back that up. Able to dodge out the killing blow with his ultimate, getting into Aristotle and bursting out of him. Not to mention he still has quite a bit of mobility when he bursts out, so he can dish out a little bit more damage, get that kill. So you cannot underestimate what a Kayn potential has whenever you're 1v1ing him there. That looked like it was going to go on the side of Aristotle. He did catch out Kayn, but nice turnaround by Rosen. Overall, a 2v1 did go over the ending kill did go over to Dodor, and that's who you wanted on still, but you definitely don't want to kill onto Rosen.
We're going to have to look at Truman and see what is their game plan. What do they plan on doing? Because the game is kind of stalled out a little bit. As Principia is not going to want to leave their jungle too much. Probably not even want to venture out into the river.
No, not so much. They, with the wards being thrown out, there's not an extraordinary amount of wards, but still, you don't want to be running the risk of getting caught. I want to talk about it here. There's a banner command on the side to keep King on the top side. We didn't see that last game. We're going to see it this game. Rosen, he's going in.
Oh, Rosen, way far out. I am not sure what Rosen was hoping for there. He's pretty squishy with this build. Warrior enchantment. That's a serrated Dirk. Coalfield's Warhammer. You're not going to survive too easily, but maybe his team can throw it around as they go for the full engage. That's a 4-man Cosmic Radiance to keep him alive. Flavius in the back line. Finally, he gets a rampage for himself as they want to get a little bit more roar, not connecting on it. And flash from Tom Fu to keep himself alive. Shut down for Dodor. They throw another rock coming in from Aristotle, trying to see if he can cut away Mucky, so low. The great body block coming in from Keith King. This tier 2 tower probably gonna fall as Principia continue their siege, knocking back the Keith King in the meanwhile.
And that was the advantage of having that Rift Herald just run amok on it earlier when you could have easily taken it out. Truman let the Rift Herald do about half damage to that turret, so it took even less time when the siege actually came. They may have thought that the siege wasn't gonna come if they could keep it at bay, but it happened. Now that turret going down. Top lane, My Pet Cactus wasn't even in that fight. He did throw out the Cannon Barrage, but he's just been split pushing this entire time. So he's gonna also pick up another turret, and that is, hold on, is he gonna? Yeah, it's gonna go down eventually. But that is nice 2-turret pickup by Principia, keeping themselves alive in this and taking advantage of a 4v3 with well, no, it was a 4v4 with the Cannon Barrage coming down still, but Rosen
4v5.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Rosen died way too early, and if he were in that fight, that may have went in the favor of Truman, because Arcadius had a great flank on the backside. He didn't have anyone with him though, so he was just blown up. We're gonna get a fight in the jungle now.
2v4. Here comes the Cannon Barrage, trying to get the custom blow stacks onto Bionic Bubble. He's bounced around for so long. Not really much he can do. Highsmith was chunked out pretty well, so he has to keep himself safe. Monkey trying to defend his support this time around. Truman, they got the pick that they wanted to get control of the vision into Principia's jungle. They're trying to see if they can get out of here.
Yeah. Cactus, he's gonna get caught here.
Ooh, flash from Flavius as well. He wants to see if he can get the style points, but Rosen falls too quickly for the team. Highsmith, he's healed up pretty well, and Tom Food trades his own life 1-for-1. Jungler for support, but they already got the pick earlier onto the other jungler. It's not too bad for the side of Truman, but they might lose. Ooh, Flavius, he had to be really careful. Heal from Aristotle. So he gets back to his tower in this game, back and forth from the two sides.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So Principia are playing these team fights way better. And honestly, coupled with that, Rosen's not playing these team fights very well. So he got caught out a couple of team fights ago. This time, he did not use his ultimate. He was actually going, I believe it was for My Pet Cactus, going to ult into him to get out of dodge, dodge out some of the damage. But when he broke that stopwatch, went into stasis, Rosen was just left there, probably mashing R, waiting for it to enter into the gangplank. Wasn't going to happen. Got deleted before that. And a lot of the damage potential from him able to be dodged out of here. But
Dragon in, nice steal coming in from Rosen, and he's trying to see if he can turn it on to My Pet Cactus, who sealed up pretty well. Unbroken Trespass will finally trade it back 1-for-1. So the rest of the members of Truman show up with a great hit on to Flavius, as he's knocked down for the double kill for Dodor. The rest of Principia turning their attention maybe onto the Baron.
That would be a wise objective right now. 2 members down on the side of Truman, one of them being the jungler. That means they can't steal away anything. That would be a nice, a very nice consolation prize if they were able to pick up this Baron after having the Drake stolen away from them. Truman,
they don't have to worry about a jungler, so.
No, they don't. Truman's collapsing though. Monkey, he still has a lot of damage. Keep King going in.
It's 3v4, trying to see if they can go for a little bit. No knockup though. Bionic Bubble was taking a lot of poke. He had to get the heal from Tom Food. Exhaust onto the Keep King. Is that the person he wanted? Monkey got a lot of damage. Aristotle, he's gonna get the killing spree over to Forest. Bionic Bubble next target, but Monkey gotta be careful. Dodo does a lot of damage. Guts out of there with the rocket jump. Great 2-man dazzle, but it's not enough. And in the back line, somehow, Smithy was able to finish off Bionic Bubble. Truman turned it around, maybe even getting the Baron themselves.
This is ridiculous. And that was actually the Ignite from Highsmith. He took Ignite onto the Braum, by the way. Ignite onto Bionic Bubble, catching him at the very last tick. And that is going to be the Baron going over to Truman, with which looked like it should have been an easy Baron for Principia, but so much damage on the side of Monkey still that you cannot underestimate him. You had to keep King to rush in. You had Monkey to in there as well. Highsmith to protect Monkey, so he could just bash away at Aristotle and Dodor. And now we have the BBC Baron and I'm sorry, Baron, Banner, and Cannon minion marching its way down to the mid lane. We're not gonna see too much of that right now, as they're gonna all back, but that Banner command is going to be up before Baron is up, and we're going to see it once more pretty soon. We're going to see the power of the Baron-empowered Banner command minion. I gotta, it's a tongue twister.
Baron-empowered can. Oh wow,
see what I mean? Yeah.
Baron-empowered cannon minion. There we go. Got it. We did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Keep King used that and then they backed. You kind of want to stick with it, because if you're not near it, it's not going to get that damage. But you know. Who am I to judge?
Well, you know, that's kind of one of our jobs.
Yeah. you're not wrong there, sir.
Yeah.
But now, Truman, this is where they're looking for the siege. They got themselves that Mountain Drake earlier that they stole away from Principia. So now, they got to use that to great effect. They got to make sure they're maintaining the wave control of every single lane.
Baron and Power minions are going into the mid lane with Arcadius there. To keep King, he's going to go to the top side, and this is good. This is what you need to do with the Banner command and Baron empowered minions. You need to split push, because you can split push so well with the empowered cannon minion. It will take out a turret within about, I would say about
8 shots.
8 shots. Yeah, I was going to say about 8 to 10 shots. 8 shots definitely there. That's so huge. Probably less than 8 shots with the Keep King actually wailing away at the tower as well. No one's up there to meet him right now. There is a teleport onto the side of Pet Cactus. He could use Cannon Barrage, but with Baron empowered minions, that Cannon Barrage is not going to clear the wave, so he needs to physically go up there. Aristotle actually making his way up there right now, and Banner command is almost up. To Keep King, he is going to be making some big plays here as we have an engage on the bot side.
Oh, this is going to be the pick on Tom Food. You take away the person who could take invincibility frames for his team. Not getting the knockup with that fissure, but taking out the tower is going to be a happy day for Truman. Hello. Now, looks like the towers are falling down. And hopefully,
Very much. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. I pushed the wrong button.
Oh, it's okay. I got confused there for so quick. Hello? Did I say something wrong?
No, you did a great job, friend. It was I. But we did see the Baron empowered cannon bannered minion in the top side. able to do the work onto that inner top lane turret. So all inner turrets are down right now for Principia, which is huge. It really blows up the map for them and gives them a distinct advantage in this game that they have been struggling to get a hold of on the side of Truman. Now 7,000 gold up. It's been roughly around 1,000, but times have changed, tables have turned. The Baron is on the side of Truman, and they are taking full advantage of it. So far, getting 3 turrets, and they might be looking for more. The Baron is not going to be on for too much longer, but they are still...
They got themselves a lot off of that, though, so I would take that as a massive win for Truman. We saw in game 1, they had an explosive win. Once they got the lead, they just ran home with it. So now that they find themselves 7,000 gold ahead, I almost expect something similar soon.
Let's see, they're just like maybe trying to catch somebody out here. Rosen goes in.
Goes really deep on to Aristotle. Get the flash, but that's a Glacial Prison on the jungler. He's taken very low. Finally, finish off Ionic Bubble, but it's a trade of jungle for jungle. Here comes the Cosmic Gradient, trying to see if it can keep members alive, but only hits onto 2 members as Highsmith gets a double knockup with the Fissure. Lots of damage onto Tom Food. That's a flash. No knockup today, but the autos for Monkey is going to do enough. Weaver's Wall wasn't helping at all. One more auto onto Pet Cactus. It's all it's going to need, but instead it's going to be the trade onto Highsmith from Aristotle in that back line. Going to be a 2-for-2 trade all across at the end of the day. In Principia, they hold on to the base.
That took so much to kill Highsmith, but overall it was the jungler and the supports traded, but the dragon is coming up. And this is the second Mountain Drake. When you have a lead like this, you don't absolutely need kills. Yeah, you want picks, of course, to pressure these turrets to get this macro objective down, but with the second Mountain Drake, these macros are going to be so huge, so easy to take for Truman State. Able to take out the Baron quicker, and now the turrets quicker whenever they start sieging, which is something we haven't seen too much of. We have not seen that much sieging outside of that Baron pick, the Baron play, the Baron power play. So I do want to see with 2 Mountain Drakes, I do want to see Truman State group a little bit more and try to pressure these turrets. They don't need a fight, but this is something that Principia wants to press the advantage of as well. They do need these fights because they're not the ones trying to siege anything. They have no macro objective right now. They just need to kill and
survive.
Yeah, it's very much and survive. Yeah, this is it's looking hazy, but with Arcadius being caught, not going to be caught actually. If he were caught though, that would be a huge play for Principia, but it's not going to happen. Baron's actually going to be up in a minute 30 though.
As they maybe have caught out Highsmith a little bit too far away from his team. Getting rid of him before the Baron comes up is going to be nice, but he'll respawn well before the Baron comes up.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering. Is like, so they get the pick. That is nice. That's a little bit of gold in the pocket of Principia, but what else do they get out of that? There's no objectives to take. Baron is going to be up. Highsmith is going to be up before the Baron is up, so this is something they do establish, though. With a Highsmith down, that means they do have the freedom to enter into the jungle of Truman, establish some vision here, get control of the map around the Baron, and possibly pressure it a little bit more than Truman. But man, with the team fights the way they're going, Truman may be coming out on top of that one though. Let's see, it's going to be up to Dodor and Aristotle definitely to stay alive here. My Pet Cactus, he does have the Triforce and the Sterix in the top side. He just hasn't been able to position himself properly. But Dodor and Aristotle have been doing phenomenally on the side of Principia. It's going to be up to them to really turn these team fights in their favor.
Well, especially being down to the hole like Principia has pretty much been this entire time. They've been fighting back valiantly. They got a nice 2-for-2 trade where normally that should have gone a complete sweep for Truman. Yet they hold on for dear life. They're starting to scale. Get these items under their belts. Look at Dodor. He's 10-1 on this Tristana. He's going to be a massive threat, but if he's picked off, that's the end of the hope for Principia.
Yeah, he's a 10-1 Tristana with 3 big items. 4 if you want to count that. Hold on, we have a engage.
Engage onto Tom Food. You want to take away that Cosmic Radiance. It's not going to drop in time. Only going to help Dodor to run away. Support taken down. And this time, it's when a Baron is on the table. Truman, they clearly want that, but they are losing some of their towers, so they got to be careful. Double push coming in mid and bot.
Yeah, the Principia are trying like hell to make this work. They know they can't team fight without Tom Food. They're going to lose the Baron. They're going to try to at least get an inhibitor out of this one. No one is around to stop the backs for Truman, and that means that they're going to be able to go back and prevent the inhibitor being taken. The inhibitor tower does go down. They may be looking for a fight here.
Rosen wants it. He has a lot of damage. Trying to see if he can burst onto Aristotle. Whew. The heal comes in time, but it doesn't help him his life at all as Pet Cactus gets the Sterix Gauge. Redemption to slow him down a little bit. Flavius cutting away Doder and Tom Food, so they can't keep the chase, but Rosen, he still wants it. He wants the kill. He has blood in his eyes, and that was the Duskblade stacks, the damage coming in onto my Pet Cactus.
And pay attention to where Keep King is going. He's the one with Banner Command. He has Baron empowered minions now on his side. There's no inhibitor being taken out for Truman. So that was a desperation play by Principia. I see why they went for it. It was a lose-lose situation overall since Tom Food went down and got picked. So that was a sticky situation. They made the most of it. Did get a turret for their 2 turrets actually for their own right, just to get a little bit of gold. But right now, with the Baron empowered minions, we saw how powerful it was on the first Baron take for them. The second one is going to be even more so, now that they have more items in their arsenal, and another Mountain Drake to back it up here.
Tom Food taking a lot of damage. The Chain of Corruption came down as well. Knock up Rosen with that damage. The Exhaust trying to see if he can keep him alive. He uses the Umbral Trespass just to get the kill and has to flash away. We want to get a little bit more, and that was the Cannon Barrage to finish off the life of the jungler for Truman. Doesn't seem that they've done yet. They want to open up the base at Principia. The siege coming in. They gotta be careful. They gotta be careful of Dodor. He's trying to see if he can get in. Look at all those low health bars. That is a lot of resets. If Dodor is able to get in. Mucky a little bit too far out, but no one getting attacked. And the damage. Auto's coming in as the shutdown comes in from Mucky. And the ace even for Truman. This should be game, set, and match. 2-0 Truman.
I cannot believe they turned that fight around. Arcadius stuck around with such a low health bar. Everyone had such a low health bar. But Mucky, he was able to regen himself back up with the Blade of the Ruin King, the lifesteal from that. They have the Baron empowered bannered minion in the base. That just pelts away at the Nexus. 2-0 going over Truman. Congratulations to them. They advance over into the Teemo Cup brackets. But man, that was a huge win for Truman on that last team fight. It didn't look like they were going to be able to take that one, but turn it around and let Mucky just get a little bit of lifesteal back up, able to get his health bar up with enough comfort to get into the front line, pelt away whoever was there. And then, of course, the Keep King held on to his ultimate for a long time and able to use that at a prime moment and just explode whoever he ran into.
It was a crazy last fight. It kept looking like there's moments of hope, the glimmers of light coming in for Principia, where they could come back, they can get this kill, they got trades evenly, but they were never able to get objectives, and that's such a big thing when you're behind. You need to somehow get some sort of momentum back on the map that, sadly, they were never able to do into the massive force of Truman State.
Yeah, that was a valiant effort by Principia. They had a great game number 2 early game, but that one Baron just was a downhill slide for them after that, and then it was all Truman State after that first Baron after that pick. That was whenever Principia was actually gave up the dragon, got that team fight, went over to Baron, and then lost that team fight because the death timers were so low that Truman was able to come back, and Mucky and Keep King and Highsmith able to prevent that Baron from being taken. And since again it was early, they weren't able to take the Baron very quickly. So Truman, they just made the better rotations, better macro play, and they were able to outlast that early game lag that they had into the mid game power spike once they got that Baron. So congratulations once again to them.
Yeah, Truman State really just proved that once they get the lead, they can snowball. They love to just go crazy. They made these weird plays across the map, but it was controlled chaos almost. They had these plays going topside, but they were rotating bot to try to get an objective or a tower. Maybe, sure, they had Rosen just going way too deep sometimes. There's the one play that pretty much almost threw it back for Principia to get back into the game where Rosen, I don't know why he went so deep, but honestly, it worked out. It worked out for them. They got the win 2-0 as well.
Yeah, very much so. And when it works, and that's what you want. No matter how you win, you still got to win. So that is going to be it for this broadcast. There might be a one at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's actually pending. Stick around. So check out our Twitters. You can actually see our Twitters on the bot side here. You can also check out CSL's Twitter at CStarLeague or CSL LOL. We'll be posting updates on the 3 o'clock game right there. Again, right now it is pending. So check out our social media. Facebook.com/CStarLeague should be finding updates there as well. And if you wanted to go back and watch this game or watch any games, that have been played throughout the regular season, go over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CStarLeague. Check out our VODs. You also have our talk shows there, Ward Up and the Quad, and not to mention any sort of tournaments that we've been having throughout. I know Smash is doing some things, I want to say up in Canada, but I'm not quite sure. I do know they are having live events right now. So go check that out. Also, want to give a shout out to Twitch. Quick shout out, you can actually follow them on twitter.com/Twitch or facebook.com/Twitch. And give them a shout out because they make all this possible. Wouldn't be here without them. Thank you very much, Twitch, for being there, for allowing us to broadcast and partnering with us and doing all you do for collegiate esports. But at the moment, that is going to be it for us. Like I said, keep in tune to our Twitters. We'll keep you updated on that 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time game. But until then, my name is Joshua Fekaz Quest. I am here with Alex Mad Magical Wielden. So we'll catch you around another time. Until then, have a good one.